Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Appreciate y'all, man.
This is the day after. He's tripling down on him feeling that he was scammed by losing. Now, I want to ask y'all a question. What do y'all think about Blueface losing to Chibu? You know, the after effects of it is a little bit interesting.
He lost.
Because I'm going to be honest with you, after seeing how terrified every other rapper was of Blueface, to see Blueface lose to, you know, no disrespect to Chibu, but a regular guy, I've told y'all, rappers live so much in image. Everybody assumes rappers are super tough. They all got hands. They all could fight. And if you put a rapper versus a regular civilian, like they're almost a superhuman.
Hey, listen. Now, I want to say this, right? This why a lot of them dudes like that, they're not going to challenge a regular person because they don't want their image to be tarnished by losing. Because nobody's going to let Blueface live this down that he lost to Chibu. This why they don't want to challenge it. This why Wack, all that stuff Wack talk. You can offer Wack $5-10 million to get in the ring with somebody, right? And he knows if he get in the ring and lose with somebody, right? Nobody's letting him live that down. So, of course, he going to turn it down. If you was to say, hey, Wack, $5 million, you said for the fight, Wack, man, I need 7. All right, Wack, we got 7. Man, I need 9. Damn, Wack, you just, man, all right, we got 9. Man, I need 13. Every time you agree with him, he going to go up because he don't want to get in there and lose the image of this fake tough guy. He don't want people to start looking like, oh, you really not that tough and you can't fight.
Right? Well, we get to find out, bro, that's not true. You have Lebebe. He's ducking a fade with me. We see some of these guys athletically. You're like, okay, these guys look like they've never, like, if they've never done anything more than fucking walk to the block to sell some drugs. That's it. You can tell these guys aren't really on nothing. It's gotten to the point, I'm going to play the clip after. I'm going to be honest with you. I think, especially with streaming, people have never looked at rappers as bitches as much in history till now. I think a regular fan realizes that a rapper is probably a bitch ass nigga. Like your average rapper who talks crazy is probably a bitch ass nigga without the 20 people with him, without the guns that he claims he's shooting, which he doesn't have a gun charge for. Okay. Fans are starting, and this is why like rap is in a weird place. There's no more mystique for rappers. There's no more respect for rappers. And the idea of, oh, these are like, I remember, shit, I just came over to the United States. Like, nigga, a couple years later, you hear 50s popping. The idea behind 50s lore was that this guy survived getting shot 9 times. Bro, he had a song called You Not Like Me. Basically saying that he's like this. We thought he was like the Iron Man of fucking gangsters, of humans. This is why he's the tough guy from the streets. Now we're realizing like these rappers are bitches. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is going to continue till a rapper gets in the ring or a rapper shows us otherwise. And this is why people, I'm going to lie, no disrespect. This is why DaBaby deserves so much respect. He was one of the only niggas that every time somebody played with him, he gave a demonstration. He made an example. Every time.
Listen, though. Majority of the rappers, they just created an image, though. The majority of the rappers, they wasn't out there fighting. They wasn't out there getting it in. They just created an image. And, you know, in the world, right, hope sells the best. So if the rappers can sell you this image of hope and you fall for it, they gonna get paid. You know, a lot of them, that's all they doing is selling you hope, dreams, lies. They not like nothing they saying in the music, man. And, you know, everybody acts like they can rumble, they gonna get down, And a lot of them jokers, they really can't fight, man.
Every single time. To the point, I think he had a reputation of, don't fuck with the baby. He ain't one of them. But these days, I think people look at rappers like, yo, bro, you getting knocked out by this regular nigga. You getting holed by this other dude. Like, yo, y'all not really that tough. That's why when rappers is now trying to come with this like super tough shit, we like, yawn. I hate to say it. Yo, there was an idea before Fifth went like kind of super pop with him, his albums going on Diamond. People were scared of 50. I remember the whole thing was when white people started calling 50. And it was saying that even, remember the dude walked around with a bulletproof vest. It felt like violence was following him. And when he figured out that, yeah, he still got to be tough for like hip hop, but he got to be able to smile with the white folks and kind of go in both worlds, he started really going crazy and he started really blowing up. But I only say that to say there used to be a thought about rappers. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, I think niggas look at rappers as hoes. Right now, your favorite rapper, like, we're seeing them too much. They got beer bellies. These niggas look like they couldn't even run 50 meters. Like, they look like me. Like, these niggas look.
Yeah, I was about to say that. They look like you, though, Act. I was about to say that because you definitely not in shape. And, you know, you was acting like you was about to get in the ring with Lil Baby. You know, you bigger than Lil Baby. So, of course, you wanted to take that match. But when Blueface was saying, get in the ring with him, you like, nah, you're not going to do it. So, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of these jokers, man, especially if you don't come from that type of history, you know, because a lot of these dudes really they ain't even never been in no fights. I don't think Akademiks has been in no fights. You know, out in the street, no. I think when he was coming up, if somebody did disrespect him, he went the other way. All right, I'm not going to indulge in this. I'm going to go to school, do what I got to do. I'm not getting involved. But, you know, now the internet has gave whoever an opinion. And a lot of these guys, they haven't been in real fights. They haven't been in that type of war. They haven't been in those situations, but they come to the internet and give like an opinion. You know, these niggas ain't never been in no shootouts. They never been in no rumbles. They never been in the real life thing, but their opinion is highly considered because they put a lot of time on the internet and they built a fan base up. So, yeah, I really think a lot of these dudes haven't experienced the real, but they be acting. Especially, you know, the guys on the internet, rappers, you know, podcasters that be popping it like Whack and these guys, they really don't want that part of life. And I don't think really nobody does, but it's certain individuals that portray that they want that when they really don't want it. I'm just being real with that one there. Smash that like button if you haven't hit the like button yet and subscribe to the channel.
The idea and facade about a rapper is completely done. And again, I'm not saying it's every rapper, so don't act like I'm dissing every rapper. But what I'm telling you, it's about how people view the average rapper. And these things don't help. I think Blueface was one of the only last niggas like, oh, yeah, he a Crip, he a this. Like, damn, he probably caught 8,000 squabbles in jail. Damn, he's calling everybody out. Like, and then when you see him versus Chibu, by the way, I still think, you know, he held his own. I think people are like, yeah, these guys aren't that scary. They're just like regular human beings. People look at rappers like vloggers now. Like, y'all just vloggers, my nigga. Like, that's it. Like,
I don't think Blueface had a lot of squabbles in jail. From what I see, I don't think he had a lot of squabbles. You know, I'm not saying that he just can't fight at all, but I just don't think that he had a lot of squabbles. I don't think that, you know, he was working on that part of, you know, life, making sure that he was able to have his win right, exercising, you know. Dudes, when they get locked up and they claim to be squabbling, I think they have more win than this. I think they're like prepared to rumble. When in this situation, I don't think he was really prepared for this rumble.
You're vloggers that just make music. That's it. Anyway, Let's hear about Blueface, and this is from today, I believe. He's talking about how, well, according to the caption, it says he doubles down on the scamming thing, and he says he was paid over $300,000.
Yeah, Aiden's definitely scamming. He tried to say I was drinking and getting lit. I don't even drink, chat. It's definitely an excuse to make it more favorable. All the highlights was in one round. It's a 6-round fight. And if you go look at all the highlights from what everyone's posting, it all says round 6. Where's the rest of it?
Now, I want to stop Blueface there. And remember,
and I'm going to say this, right? I don't think Aiden Ross is going to want to have Blueface back. I don't think so. You know, with those type of allegations, you know, and him trying to damage the brand, I don't think he's going to want to have Blueface back. And that there would want to cut Wack's bag because Wack has nobody else to bring. The only person he has to bring is Blueface. You know, Blueface known and fresh out and people wanting to see him. That's the only person Wack has to bring. 600. Nobody wants to see 600 fight. We already know what 600 going to do. He getting there. He going to take a knee. We know this, right? So I don't think Aiden's going to want to have Blueface back talking like this, though. You know, because he's definitely trying to damage the brand. Talking the way he's talking about his business, you know, but we shall see, you know, and Wack says this next fight on May 2nd, you know, which we seen Swaggy P cancel, is scheduled. So we'll see how that goes if he finds another opponent, you know. But I don't think Blueface is going to want to fight much longer. Getting punched upside your head, I don't think he's going to want to fight much longer. It's different. You know, you in the ring taking beatings and getting punched upside the head, and you already supposed to have the bag. Like, hold up. This ain't your profession. You know, he getting in the ring like he trying to get discovered. Like, on some real shit. You get in the ring like you trying to get discovered.
You know, for anybody who's like, yo, Ak, you know, you and Blueface were going back and forth, so you're a little bit biased. I have no reason to try to shit on him. I lost money. I lost $20,000 because of Blueface. I believed in him. I betted on him. Blue, maybe you're right about the alcohol thing. I didn't see you drinking alcohol, even though you saying you don't drink, that would be a new revelation. I've seen you drink many times in the past, like you and your ex, Krishan, you guys had a substance abuse problem for sure, right? And I'm not acting like no one else does. Maybe I do, right? But you guys used to drink a lot.
You definitely
so maybe
got
you don't
a substance abuse problem.
I'm not making that accusation. Blue, you do have to take accountability that physically you look like you're in 2,000 times more shape than Chibu, and you were completely gassed.
That's a fact.
Completely gassed.
I agree with that.
By the 6th round. Not only were you completely gassed by the 6th round, right? Which, by the way, you guys requested. According to WAC 100, that was a compromise after they swapped out another fighter, which would have been what's my man's name? Ruga. They swapped out Ruga, and they said, hey, you could fight Chibu, and Wack or you said, well, this guy's 285 pounds. He's heavier. We'll only do it if we do 6 rounds. So all of these things is you being the A side controlling it. You asked for 6 rounds because you thought that because he's fat, your stamina would be better. And for the regular person watching the fight, that's what it should have been.
That's where Wack was wrong. He thought because the bull was bigger, he was going gas out on 6 rounds. And he turned up at the end. So Wack's decision to go 6 rounds was definitely a major part in Blueface taking the L. Even though I feel like the bull was rumbling from the door, But I feel like it was a major part because those last 3 rounds, the boy was putting in some major work.
You're in shape. He's fat. Or you look in shape physically. But the reality is not because you look in shape means you're actually in shape. Okay? Obviously, you were incarcerated for some time. You probably weren't in there training for a boxing match, but you got out. We seen you in the studio. You're definitely putting in work, streaming, doing everything you had to do. But you clearly didn't take this match serious enough. Where's the videos or whatever of you waking up early in the morning and jogging 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles, getting the cardio up? No, you assume because you are a skinny, tall dude, or you're not that skinny anymore, but you're way more physically or visibly physically in shape than Chibu, that you had better stamina than him. You're ignoring some of the most obvious parts. You were still gasping for air after 6 rounds. He did 6 rounds too. Even during the interview, he was talking, even though he was a little bit winded too, but it's very obvious. It was very obvious. I'll pull it up again that you guys can see it.
All Blueface been doing is been sleeping with different women. That's it. And I think that he has been engaging in some other things. I don't know, but I think so. All the women around him drinking, getting lit. He could have took a shot or two. Yeah. Smash that like button if you haven't already hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel and share this live.
In case you think I'm lying, Blueface. Let's see. Look, even this clip.
Yo, what's going on, guys?
Okay, even in this clip right here. So this is a clip where he is in the, I don't want to dox how Aiden's warehouse is, but there is essentially another warehouse where the fighters prepare, they kind of chill at until it's time to go to the main warehouse where the fight happens. So after the fight, Blueface goes back there after he's done the interview. Now, you would imagine if Blueface is really in better shape than Chibu, you look, the fight is done. Look, this is him in the fight. See? Look, still gathering breath. Again, listen, I know I'm not in shape either, my niggas. I'm not here I'm just trying to say this is a part of accountability Blue got to take. You physically looked in shape. You underestimated a nigga because he was fat. You said, oh, let's go more rounds because you think he's going to get tired more than you. What Chibu did, which you got to give him credit. And remember, I got to give him the caveat. I had to pay out money because I bet on Blue. Chibu is a heavier dude. He put a lot of his weight. I know it's kind of dirty, but he put a lot of his weight on Blueface that Blueface kind of had to consistently deal with. That was tiring out Blueface.
It's a fight. What you mean? He gonna do what he gotta do in the fight. You can lean on somebody. You get in there, y'all lock up. Y'all gonna lean on each other. Hold up. If Blueface was heavier than him, he would have leaned on him too. It's a fight. We can't make no excuses for what happened. And he chose to pick that fight. Was Wack thinking about that part before he chose that fight? Because obviously he was thinking about the bull gassing out. That's why he chose 6 rounds. So we can't make an excuse because the fight didn't go his way and he had the opportunity to pick the fighter and how long the fight went for. His decisions all the way around the board backfired. He should have picked a fighter that had the same physique as Blueface and size if he wanted a fighter that wasn't going to have more weight. We're not going for the excuses, though.
Now, usually, technically, Chibu's supposed to be tired, too, because he's carrying all this weight on his body, but Chibu is in better. he has better conditioning than Blueface. This is after the fight, after the press conference. This is a guy who's supposed to be somewhat in shape.
I'm not listening. Everybody in there, but the last 2 fights is crazy. May section.
Okay. Just wait. Right. Look. This is probably like 20 minutes after the fight. Or not, it's not 20 minutes. Let me be accurate. No, it's 5 minutes after the fight. 5 minutes after the fight, Blue could barely talk. He could get one word in before he has a... He's not in great shape. That's just clear. Conditioning is lacking. Just listen.
Losses come with this shit.
Look.
Now, this the trainer right here. This is the trainer that Wack wants to put it all on. It says the trainer wanted to go 6 rounds. The trainer did this. The trainer needs to go. Nobody needs to use this trainer because obviously the trainer wants to hang out and enjoy the festivities instead of handling business. The trainer wants to go and party. The trainer wants to hang out and enjoy the fun part. The trainer should be focusing on making sure that Blueface was running every single day, that he was training to be in top shape for the fight. And I don't think the trainer did. And the manager here should have been making sure that he made better decisions on putting it together and who he fought and how long the fight went for. But the manager is so focused on Clubhouse and who's snitching and who's on this paperwork and what work we got instead of perfecting the business. See, this is what happens when you have that type of manager that's so focused on everything else but his client. If he was focused on his client solely more than he focused on Clubhouse and who he got the paperwork on and Big U's indictment and loose cannon, this and this, that, and Jim Jones and Pooh Shiesty and all this, he would be able to dial in on the business. He ain't getting no money from talking about Pooh Shiesty. He ain't getting no money from talking about Max B. He ain't getting no money from that. But those are the focus of his conversation. But the situation you're supposed to be getting your money from, you ain't focused on. But what's going to happen is, just like 600, nobody's going to be excited to watch Blueface fight. And then it's going to mess up his bag with that situation.
It was up 4-2. We were up 4 rounds. It was up 4-2. But watch when you see the fight be super high fire, super high.
Again, as you see, Blue is gasping for air a bit. And all I'm trying to say is that if we look at Chibu afterwards, he looks like he probably could have won another round, even though he looked tired too.
He definitely landed a lot of...
But this is 10 minutes after the fight. Blue could barely talk. We just got to be honest. Blue did not do no conditioning in terms of cardio. He probably did some workout, probably did a round or 2 sparring, make sure whatever was good. But conditioning, horrible. And also, it's his own fault because he asked for 6 rounds. Everybody else did 3. These are amateur fights. Everybody did 3. He wanted to bring this fat dude into the deep waters. The fat dude had better conditioning. Second of all, Blue is fighting somebody who's 285. Blue is more naturally like a guy that's around 200. Not sure what his current weight is now. If you watch Blue when he was fighting, Blue did hit a couple punches, but none of them looked like they affected
Bingo.
They didn't have power. Now, I'm not going to say Blueface doesn't have power with his punches, but
Bingo. Blueface didn't affect that bull, man. They said Blueface tooth got knocked out. Blueface punches didn't affect that bull. But you seen when that bull hit Blueface, he was rocking him.
It clearly appears to me that Blue probably has power if he's fighting somebody who's 185 or 190 or 195. But his power doesn't hit somebody that's 285 and really do nothing. There's no punch I think he hit Chibu with that Chibu was startled or, oh shit, like actually one time. I did see one time. But there was times that it looked like Chibu may have hit him. And even though I still give Blueface the score overall because he got more punches in, power punches and moments that probably shocked the crowd, Chibu had those. Okay?
Out the ring.
Okay. All right. Now, this is where I'm also questioning. If you ask me, it looked like it was the first time Blueface ever did 6 rounds. That's a problem. Why ask for 6 rounds if this is the first time you think you're going to ever do 6 rounds? And also, why ask for 6 rounds if you're not comfortable with doing 6 rounds without being this tired? Unless you think you're going to stop him before 6 rounds. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that Blueface was the aggressor in much of the fight. I think he did a great job with the jab. I think he threw some decent and good punches early on, but
Blueface listened to Wack. That's all he did. He did what Wack told him to do. Nephew, we doing 6 rounds. All right. Wack tried to tell him what he was going to wear in the ring. You can't wear this. The trainer said this. You know what I'm saying? Like the tactics. He tried to put it on the trainer when he tried to tell Blue what to wear in the ring. I want you to wear this because the trainer said, nah, Blueface, I ain't wearing that. But when it came to the 6 rounds, he just agreed with it. All right, that's what we got to do. All right, we're going to do 6 rounds.
He didn't have the energy of, I'm about to put this boy down. We got to be honest. Anyway.
My coach said...
Okay. All right, now he's like rested now. He's good. Okay, anyway, this is him from last night, I think today.
It all says an excuse to make it more favorable. All the highlights was in 1 round. It's a 6-round fight. And if you go look at all the highlights from what everyone's posting, it all says round 6. Where's the rest of it? I didn't take plenty losses before, chat. It's not. Boxing is the sport comes with losses. How much did I make on the fight? Oh, I ain't gonna tell you how much I made, but I'll tell you that I made over 300,000.
Yeah, I hear the number is like, it's like 350 or 400. I'm not gonna tell you how much I made. It's like, imagine making like $30 and be like, I ain't gonna tell you how much I made, but I made over $28. You know, from what I hear, that's the highest. Aiden, this didn't come from Aiden, but I hear that's the highest Aiden's ever paid for a boxer. Also,
so Blueface made like 350 off the fight. I wonder how much Chibo made. He probably only gave Chibo about 30,000. He gave Blueface 350,000 for this fight. He lost. Chibo probably only got about 30,000. That's wild. And now Blueface done put it out there that he made over 300,000. Oh yeah. You know, people gonna be like, man, hold up. Blueface got 350 in there and lost. I need more. I need more than this. Yeah, Blueface saying a lot. You know he linked the Wack.
So I think that's the thing that, you know, if we're really thinking about this brand risk thing, you could look at it 2 ways. You could look at it as, if you pay a guy 300,000, let's call it 350. If you pay him 350, would you want him to win because now it makes the league bigger, or you want him to lose to one of your fighters because you want to make the fighter bigger? You know, it's 2 different ways to think about it, but whatever.
I'll let you guess from there. And that's just for the fight. That's not even including nothing else. So it's definitely a celebration, chat.
Yeah, and I think the way he's talking again, not that he didn't want to win, but this is a big win for Blueface. He just got home. He owes a lot of money. He gets 350, 400 for the fight. He goes to fucking Vendome or Booby Trap, wherever he goes to do club hostings the night before. He's probably collecting like good 30, 40 grand there. It probably turned out to be a trip that's worth like 700,000 for him, right? So, if you could parlay that into something where like this could have been $1 million weekend for him, right? He's hustling a lot. He's still streaming. Yeah, he lost the fight. Do I think it does irreparable damage to his career? No. I think for him, it's in his advantage to push the narrative of, hey, listen, I got robbed, right? And yes, he could fight again. No one in hip hop is gonna. Notice that all the rappers kept quiet, right? Because they wouldn't want to fight him. Like that's the reality. So nobody's really talking about Blueface losing because they wouldn't want to fight his ass.